Hello, friends in internet land. My name is Dr. Zachary Ward. I am the gentleman here in the upper left with the happy smile on my face. I'm what's known as a structural upper cervical chiropractor. The name of my practice is Life and Alignment Chiropractic. I practice in Auburn Hills, Michigan. This is my location. This is my phone number. I wanted to make a quick, brief, unscripted video for you about why alignment matters and how we can change alignment often very quickly, and why this is important to human health and why it may be important to you, particularly talking about a case of post-concussion syndrome in a teenager. So let's dive in. Here are some rules that we believe influence what we're doing. Rule number one, the spine has an ideal shape. Number two, the spine is made of movable parts or vertebrae. Where all those vertebrae come together with the discs and the ligaments are called joints. Of course, their position is often influenced by the musculature and the nervous system controlling that musculature, and how these joints interact with each other affect the spinal cord, the spinal nerves, and the fluids of the spine, including the cerebral spinal fluid. So what does that look like? Let's take a look. Let's talk about a young man who was diagnosed with a case of post-concussion syndrome after about a year of struggling with his symptoms, which were all self-reported as foggy head, poor concentration, anxiety, dizziness, some short-term memory issues, some neck pain, and the occasional migraine. Let's go ahead and take a look at his alignment. This is him before his correction. Hopefully you can see how there's elevation on this left shoulder. You can see how the right shoulder is kind of depressed. You can see how the neck is kind of leaning to the right, and kind of the whole orientation of his body seems to be leaning to his right. Let's go ahead and take a look at his post picture and then his pre-picture again. Hopefully you can kind of see that subtle shift there. If you look at where his head is here and look at where his head is there, hopefully you can see the way that that shoulder drops down and the shoulder elevates and the way this neck comes back to the right. Let's take a look at those two images side by side. Again, you can see the way that after one correction, his shoulder drops down, his neck kind of comes back to the left, and the head kind of comes back to the left. And this was accomplished in about 15 minutes by unlocking this area here very gently. This is the change in his alignment. And this is also the change in his alignment from the side. Again, notice where his head is in reference to this line. Now notice where his head is in reference to this line again. Notice where his ear is reference to his shoulder and how forward and rounded the shoulders are. Notice where his ear is in reference to his shoulder, how his shoulders are not as rounded, and just the overall positioning. He is more upright. There's going to be better communication here between his brain and his body, better blood flow. You can see how he's more compressed in this image. Again, this was all done in about a 10-15 minute process where we gently unlocked this area of his neck here. So how did this alignment change how he was feeling? Well, he said before he came in he was a mess. He always fell down. He had no energy. His back ached. His neck ached. He had some memory issues. About 3 or 4 weeks, we did kind of a post-evaluation kind of symptom response form. He says, I stand up much taller and better. My memory loss has gone away little by little. He also had experienced much less anxiety and fogginess. And those were his self-reported results from being in better alignment. Before we go, I just want to make a real quick point here on why this alignment matters. This change in his alignment resulted in the change of his symptoms, but I was not working on him to correct those symptoms per se. We were working together to change this, to get this out of this compressed, lockdown, broken down structure, and to change how he was relating to gravity, how his spine was moving, how he was standing, and the result of that, kind of freeing that nervous system in this area, is what changed the symptoms. You can read more about this process at liachiro.com. You can check that out. There's a contact form there. You're welcome to use that and get in contact with me. If you're in my area, Southeast Michigan, feel free to call me. That's the name of my practice. Again, this smiley happy guy up here is me, Dr. Zachary Ward at Life and Alignment Chiropractic. I hope you have found this video helpful, and it's given you some hope that alignment does matter and it can change.